You're watching the free version of Silhouette Essentials. For projects and footage, head to BorisFX.com for the premium download.
When I'm looking at all of these mountain ridges, there are several of them at different depths. We have this one over here, screen left. We have a center one here, which is part of a mid ridge that goes down like that. And it looks like it kind of goes off to the side a little bit up here. We have this one right here. And we have this one on far screen right. So I think I'm going to track and roto this one here. So I need to make some tracking shapes. I'm going to make two, one for this little section here and one for this section over here. I'm going to create a new layer, click S for X-spline, and make some shapes. I'm on my last frame here because I don't want to capture too much of this information down here because it goes off screen and it kind of resembles some of this background. So we'll just make one shape here, making sure to stay within the ridge. And we'll make another one here. Click S, we'll make another shape, staying in the interior for this part, and then I'm going to move up along the top to capture some of this information in the sky. Well, there's no information, but it's sort of like capturing a plane up here. There's no information, so the tracker thinks it's a plane, but I'm also capturing detail down inside the mountain. I'm just going to scrub through to see if my shape is going to go into another ridge, and it looks good. And then we'll start to determine our tracking parameters. I'll go to the tracking tab, Shift T, and we're in the planar tracker here. So I'm just going to reset and reset this, and we'll start again. We'll start with luminance, auto, and I do know that I want a fine, so I'm looking at the valid tracks down here. I have both my shapes selected, so I'm looking for what's going to give me more tracks. Corners looks good, edges, that's a lot, and ridges. And then we'll try corners again, and we'll try the blue channel because we had a lot of success last time, but not as much. So if we maybe go back to luminance, corners, edges, ridges. So edges looks good. And let's see if pre-processing will help us here. We'll just up the contrast a little bit. And we got a little bit more. Okay, so let's do some tracking. We'll turn off the preview. Both my shapes are selected, and we'll track. Okay, we can take a look in the stabilized view at the layer 2. I'm going to turn off the points. You can do that down here so it's not distracting, and you can even turn off the shapes, but actually we'll leave that on and we'll just play through to see if our object stays stable. And that looks good. So now we can drop in a shape. I'm going to go out of the tracker mode into X-spline, and I'm going to actually go back to the reshape tool. I'm going to turn off the tracking shapes after I name them. And now we can make our shape. So for the roto here, I'm going to use the magnetic freehand tool, Shift F. And the icon is over here on the toolbar on the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a point down, and I'm just going to trace over the mountain ridge. My pen is not touching the tablet. It's just hovering above it. It can easily detect this edge between the ridge and the sky. As I get closer to the other neighboring ridges, I'm going to place a point down, and I'm just going to drag on the tablet to where I think the shape should be, and then circle back around and close my shape. So now you can see I have my shape is made, and the detail here is at 100, and I'm going to leave it at that because I want all of these points. I'm going to click the R to get out of the editing mode for the detail, and I'm just going to scrub through and make sure that my shape is working with the tracking. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to zoom in here and take a closer look. So when you make a shape with the magnetic freehand, you get a combination of point tensions. It's an X-spline, but I end up with some corners, I end up with some B-spline point tensions, and you can also have some cardinal tensions as well, which is the point in the middle of the line. But I want them all to be the same. So I'm going to select all the points, hold down Shift and click, and now all my points are selected. And I'm going to right click and select B-spline. And now all my points have a B-spline tension, which is what I prefer at this time. And I can move them into place. I can add points with clicking down Alt, and you see the plus. Or if there's a point I don't need, I can just select it and hit delete. So I'm not going to finish this shape to perfection, just sort of showing you this technique. It's a really fast way to make a quick shape, or to make a shape that's easily editable afterwards. And I can go here and just delete more that I don't need, and so on. So now let's take a look at my finished project. My layers are all organized by object and depth. And we can just play this through. And I've color coded them. So let's take a look at the ice blocks layer. I'm going to open that up, and now you can see I have all these layers in here. And all of these ice formation areas were tracked with the Silhouette Planar Tracker, except for one layer here, layer 3. And that was because there just wasn't enough information to track, or the objects were really small, or just too much intersection with other objects. And so I just did manual roto with keyframing. And I can just turn this off and on and kind of get an idea that those shapes had to be manually rotoed. And then we'll take a look at some of these other mountain ridges. I used the same technique for all of them, where I used the Silhouette Planar Tracker, then used a magnetic freehand, and then I went back and edited my shapes. So we'll go take a look at one of those. We'll take a look at this screen right far mountain here. And you can see this was my tracking layer in green. And then my shape in red. And here I just needed one keyframe. And let's take a look at the detail. So I did end up having a lot of points, but at the same time, you want a lot of points if you need this kind of detail. It adds for a lot of realism in your shot.